Hi all. The other day I made some plasticine, or I made some Play-Doh at home, using 2 cups of flour, a half a cup of salt, 6 tablespoons of vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of um, vegetable oil, and a half a cup of water, uh, or 1.5 cups of water. And first, I heated up the liquids until they were quite hot, but not boiling. And then I added the dry ingredients. Oh, and I have to say that I added quite a lot of cinnamon because I wanted it to smell good. And also, it gave it a color. And this is something that the kids really enjoy making as well. And I'm thinking that you could probably still do it while they were 6 feet apart from each other. They could have turns, putting in an ingredient and maybe stirring the dry ingredients. And I will say that when I first make Play-Doh, I don't give them any tools. I just let them play with the Play-Doh while it's warm in their hands, kneading it, because it feels so good. Later the next day, I might give them kitchen tools, and I will give them maybe a plastic knife. I don't have one, but I have a regular knife, and a regular butter knife isn't going to hurt them. And they enjoy cutting the Play-Doh into little pieces. I might give them scissors because they like cutting up Play-Doh with scissors. I will give them maybe a fork so that they can make some interesting designs in their Play-Doh with the fork. I'll look in the kitchen and see what other tool I might have that might make an interesting design for them. And this one makes circles, and that's fun for them to see. Kids on their own will make food. That seems to be the thing they most like to do with Play-Doh. So I might give them little something that they can use as a cake tray that they can pretend to put in the oven and bake into a cake. And I might give them cut up pipe cleaners to use as candles. They really like to play Happy Birthday. I'm sure you've done all of these things. And then in terms of mathematics, what one can do is, I still have the acorns that I collected the other day, and the kids might randomly put down different things into the Play-Doh because they do like decorating. They do like decorating the Play-Doh with different items. And so once they've done that, one of the things you could have them do is count how many acorns they have, how many the little hemlock cones they have, and encourage them to touch the items while they're counting so they can keep track of what they've counted. For children who are older, one of the things that you can have them do is make patterns with the objects in the Play-Doh. And at first they can just be, very simple patterns. I guess they call them B patterns when it's just one one big acorn followed by a smaller acorn followed by a bigger one followed by a smaller one, and you can have the kids figure out how to continue the pattern. And then of course you could make patterns which are more complicated for them. So maybe you would do, let's see, 1, 2, 3 hemlock cones, and 1, 2 little acorns, and 1 acorn top, followed by 1, 2, 3 hemlocks. I'm running out of space, but you could make it bigger, and they could guess what would come next. Looking at the pattern, they could figure out what would come next after these 2 small acorns. And that's a good way for them to think about mathematical patterns. It's a very tactile way, and I think that helps set it in the brain in a nice way. And there's a lot of touching, and I think that's good for mathematics, especially when the kids are young. And then the other thing that I was thinking about is that kids are feeling the anxieties of the parents around them, and they themselves probably are feeling anxious. And Play-Doh is a really nice tactile way to calm their bodies down. And so sometimes when I have a kid in the daycare who is having a hard time with friends and is not able to resolve what's going on, I'll send them off to play with Play-Doh. And it's not as a punishment, it's really as a way of settling their bodies down. I'll do that also if a kid is running around in the daycare, and I don't want them to run around and they aren't hearing my voice about, or my suggestion that they slow their bodies down, I'll have them go in and play with Play-Doh as well. And it's not, as I said, it's not a punishment, and other kids are welcome to join the child, and they can play with the Play-Doh in whatever ways they want. But one of the things that I was thinking about is in one of the books that I read, the bilingual book, it talked about different feelings. And I was thinking, oh, well, kids could make different feelings using Play-Doh, and the objects that they might have found or that you might have in your daycare. And so I might give this person nice green hair, since people like to dye their hair these days. So this person has nice green hair. And I'm going to give, I think the person chose to have green hair because they wanted it to match their green eyes. So I'll give them green eyes. And maybe I'll give them eyelashes. And let's see, give them a nose. And maybe this person is very surprised and has their mouth wide open. And then, of course, you can have them change. You yourself and they can change the expression on the person. And you could be telling a story about the person while you're making the person and describing why they're having the feelings that they're having. And the children themselves can tell a story while they're making their person and can explain through the story how come that person feels the way they do. Because it's therapeutic to tell stories, and it holds kids' interests. They like to listen to the teachers telling stories. Once they take off the things, they can still see the person in a different way, and that might be interesting to them as well. I think Play-Doh is one of the materials that is especially fun for kids, and it's something that I must admit I enjoy as well. I like the way it feels in my hand, and I hope you have fun with it. And thank you.